Hi, friends. Hey, welcome to Grounded with John Tester and Maritza Giorgio. We have a little teeny tiny episode of Grounded. Well, maybe not that tiny. You know how we go. We go long of Grounded today. We had a long and informative show yesterday with former Ambassador Susan Rice. But right as I hit the button to launch us, John Tester was saying something to me, and I'm going to let you finish your sentence. He was about to give me some hell about something.
I've forgotten, since you put that picture up at the beginning of the show of me and you, how come I look so much better in that picture? Did you do something to whiten my cigar stained teeth, or what did you do? I mean,
there may have been some edits. There may have been some edits. And if you notice, yes, the logo is taken off your hat, but also you didn't notice that I'm as tall as you are.
Well, that happens regularly. I mean, people stand on boxes and shit, so it's all right. No, that's okay. Yeah. We love photoshopping. You know, it's all good.
Hey, how are you today?
I am just dandy. It's summertime in Montana. I shouldn't say that way, but it rained yesterday most of the day, and I just got an email today that said we're going to get an atmospheric river next week. And next week, so they're talking about flooding in January or December in Montana, which is.
I heard it was almost 60 degrees at my house in Missoula yesterday.
It could have been. It got into about 40 here was, I think, the high, but it rained. I mean, I went walking across the yard and damn near took a header every time I had to do anything. I had to swap out some filters on a truck, and it was difficult because of
don't do that
on the ice. Yeah.
Don't
but
take
other than that, things are good. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to start this out because I have an apology to make.
Oh boy, do you ever.
Boy, do I ever. Okay. We made some comments yesterday about the president's age, and I want to make it very clear that I do not think 79 is old.
Could you say that again? Could you say that again?
I do not think 79 is old.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I do think that there has been a double standard in how the attention on President Trump has been compared to the attention on President Biden.
But and we may get into that today on our podcast. We may get into that today.
Yeah, we may. Okay, so let's talk about our podcast. We're going to give you a little tease of who we're talking to today. We have a woman named Juliet Jeske on. So she hosts this show. But let me go back. Hold on really quick. I try to lead with kindness and love. And so I am so sorry if I offended anybody. Like, I truly am. And I love everybody. And we're so grateful for this community. And I don't want to make people upset. And yes, that's all I'll say. Thank you for your understanding. So today we have Juliet Jeske. She's the host of a show called Decoding Fox News. So basically what she does, listen to this job. She basically watches hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of Fox News. And then she breaks it all down. And she's very funny.
Should be good. By the way, just so you know, she's apologetic to all the viewers and listeners, but she still abuses me for being too old. I just want you to know that. But that's okay. We appreciate that.
I abuse you not for being your age, but just because you're you. I mean, it's such an easy target.
But thank you very much. We have appreciate that too. We have a lady on that. It's going to be interesting because she spends her life watching Fox News. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I watch Fox News, but I couldn't do it all the time. It would drive me insane.
How often do you watch Fox News?
Well, when they do the Sunday morning stuff, I'm usually going between Meet the Press and Face the Nation and the one on ABC and Fox News.
Actually, this is a funny little behind the curtains thing. Senator Tester and I usually live text through all those Sunday morning shows.
We do.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, some of them are pretty interesting. But it's interesting. You know, a lot of the Sunday shows are having the same folks on that we're having on our podcast. So that's
I know. That's cool.
We like that. We like that. We like the availability folks have made to us on this podcast. We appreciate that a lot.
It's pretty amazing. So yes, we're going to talk to her about this, how it started, how it's grown, how she does it, how she unwinds.
Not to be pushy, but are we going to do any headlines before she comes on, or no?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Didn't you get my little outline that I sent you?
I got an email from you, but I usually put yours in the spam folder. So
well, that's good. You and everyone else. Okay, so I just want to show, this is kind of the story taking up the time today, right? The airwaves. This is taking a lot of oxygen. This is this new video. It was released last night. This is U.S. forces seizing an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. So the Trump administration saying it was transporting sanctioned oil from Venezuela to Iran. So AG Pam Bondi posted this video on X. I mean, people rappelling onto the ship fully armed. She said the oil was sanctioned because of its involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations. So when asked about what happens with this oil tanker, President Trump said, well, we keep it, I guess. And then, of course, Venezuela denounced this. They're calling it an act of international piracy. It's being seen as an escalation. On the Hill, Senator Rand Paul said, sounds a lot like the beginning of a war.
Yeah, look, I mean, Rand Paul and I have disagreed many times, but it sounds like the beginning of a war to me, too. And I've felt, I mean, look, if you listen to Susan Rice saying yesterday about having all our military assets, around Venezuela instead of in the Mediterranean, or instead of where we need them in the world, this is dangerous. Let's just put it that way, from my perspective. If there's oil going to Iran, then that's fine. But by what rights do we have to take the boat? Are there no laws on the sea anymore? I mean, we're bombing boats that we don't know for sure if they have cocaine. And if you listen to the story yesterday, this is about cocaine. It's not about fentanyl or anything else. So it's an interesting situation. The United States, I don't know that this has ever been done before by the United States. That doesn't necessarily, we should throw it off as saying wrong, but I do think we need to ask the questions. Why did this happen? Do we have legal authority to do this? Or is this just the administration do whatever they want? And by the way, with the exception of Ron Paul, nobody on the other side of the aisle I've heard a peep out of. And I think it's dangerous. I think we could end up with troops on the ground in Venezuela, and then we don't have to talk about Epstein anymore,
Well, the president has not ruled that out. So we will see what happens.
And the question becomes, I mean, China's doing all sorts of stuff in the Pacific. Russia's doing all sorts of things in Eastern Europe. And we're focused on Venezuela? Really? Venezuela is the one that we're really worried about, impacting our way of life. It's crazy. And all the folks out there that are, on the Trump train can say, well, we're keeping drugs from coming in here. The precursor elements come from China. They're made in Mexico. And we're talking about fentanyl. And they're not blowing up fentanyl boats, okay? Because that's not where it comes from. It's amazing. So here we go. And besides that, we may not even know for sure if the boats that were blown up actually are carrying drugs, because that doesn't seem to be a high priority for the administration. And by the way, laws are important. You have a lawless society, it becomes a real problem. And if you have a lawless country, it's a real problem. We've seen that with North Korea and Iran and other countries like that. So here we go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's Thursday. I have this theory that the biggest breaking news happens on Thursdays.
Why is that?
It's just how it's been. Of my decades of news, every Thursday turns into chaos by the end of the day. I'm going to regret this tonight when I'm on the anchor desk at Scripps News filming, and I'm gonna be regretting saying this.
You're going to be busy. Yeah.
I'm going to be busy. Okay. Yesterday, the Federal Reserve cut its benchmark interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point. It's the third such cut in a row. In remarks after the announcement, Fed Chair Jerome Powell basically talked about a mixed bag. He said the tariffs are causing most of the inflation overshoot of the 2% target. Of course, President Trump said the cuts should have been doubled. He called Jerome Powell a stiff. That's not the meanest thing he said to Jerome Powell, but it was an interesting day, and we'll see what happens now with the economy.
Well, I'm gonna say that you start politicizing the monetary system in this country, it becomes a problem. And President Trump's been trying to do that since he got into office. He was trying to do it in his first term. The interest rates control is about jobs and it's about inflation. And inflation goes more through the roof than it's already going, which is going plenty high. The president will do just what he's done every other time. He'll blame everybody but himself. And he'll talk about how great the economy is as working families and small businesses and family farm agriculture is put in a real difficult bind. So that's it. I don't know if I agree with the 0.5% drop. Is that what it was? It's not a huge
a quarter.
I still don't 0.25%. I still don't know that I agree with what the Fed did. I think it was a split decision. Is that not correct?
Yeah, it wasn't unanimous for sure. Trump's appointee wanted it to be a 0.5 point, and then two members said we don't want to do anything. So
I mean, you got to look at the facts and leave the political BS out of it, and look at the facts on how this is going to impact the economy. Because the truth is, the president's never taken any responsibility for the things that have happened in this economy, and he's been in the office for nearly a year, and he's still blaming Biden for everything.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do one more quick headline, and then I want to bring our guest in because I actually want her to do the last headline with us because it's pretty comical. Okay. I talked about this yesterday when I was filling in at Scripps News. Have not seen a lot of other press on it, but there was this press conference by the National Transportation Safety Board chair yesterday. She came, I'm shocked I'm not seeing this played all over the news today. She came out and she was so absolutely pissed off, and she was swinging. And it was about this provision in the National Defense Authorization Act, which was passed by the House. So this provision that she was talking about basically would give the military unfettered access to the airspace over DC. Exactly where that midair collision happened last January that killed 67 people. And she said, this is a significant safety setback. It represents an unacceptable risk to the flying public, to commercial and military aircraft crews, and to the residents in the region. She basically said, I couldn't get on board with this and guarantee safety. So you think the Senate will fix this?
It'd be a first. If this is what the president wants, it'd be a first. If it's something that Johnson wanted, yeah, they'll fix it. Look, DCA is a very busy airport that's probably going to get a hell of a lot less busy. People are going to be going out to Dulles, and maybe that's what they want.
Well, they are renaming it, aren't they?
Are they renaming Dulles or renaming?
Or aren't they trying? Isn't there something to do with Trump and Dulles?
Oh, really?
My brain is fried.
You never know. But the truth is that flying has been pretty safe for quite a while now, and I can tell you that DCA, not unlike a lot of other airports in this country, are incredibly busy, and you don't want to increase risk, otherwise bad things will happen. That's it. And if the head of the NTSB still has her job in a week, I'm going to be surprised.
Well, you should go watch. I should have pulled it for this, but go watch that video. Yes, there is a bill to designate Dulles as the Donald J. Trump International Airport. Okay, so we want to bring in right now our guest. She's in our waiting room, and then we're going to go over this last headline with her. But this is Juliet Jeske. Hi, Juliet.
Hi.
Decoding Fox News. Thanks for joining us here live. It's great to meet you.
Thanks for having me. I just got a new chair, and it's throwing off my setup.
Oh no, it looks great.
It's throwing off the backdrop behind me. It's very funny how one little thing is like
Yes, I understand any tiny little thing. Well, I think it doesn't look bad to me. I mean, look at what Senator Tester does. He's got like a baseball bat behind him. So exactly. Senator Juliet, Senator.
So I should know this, Juliet. First of all, it's good to have you on. Appreciate it. I've got to figure out what's wrong with you. Somebody who watches Fox News all the time has to have some kind of intellectual click. But what I'm going to ask you is
sure.
Is it Newmark School that you have on your?
Yeah, Craig at Newmark School. It's a very long name. It's the Graduate Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY, which is City University of New York.
And that's where you went to school?
Yes, that's where I got my MA.
That's the reason we have this analysis of Fox News.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's get to the last headline, and then
we'll get into that. Okay. So
yeah,
Juliet's very funny. She makes me laugh. So I wanted to go through this last headline with Juliet on. Okay. Secretary of State Marco Rubio sent an action memo to officially switch the official State Department font to New York Times New Roman. Sorry. So this undoes a change from the Biden administration. It changed the typeface to Calibri because Calibri is considered more accessible to people with reading challenges or vision problems. It's simpler. It has wider spacing. It's helped people. So if you were dyslexic or like had, vision issues. Rubio blamed radical DEI efforts and said that switching back to the use of Times New Roman would, quote, restore decorum and professionalism to the department's written work.
Yeah, I think it'll really help people pay for their groceries right now. I really think it's that's what kills me about this administration is that they do the dumbest things possible. And people are like, yeah, I just, beef's really expensive. And they're like, we're going to change a font because the font is wasteful. And I'm like,
the font is DEI.
Is a font wasteful? Or how is a font DEI? I sit there and I'm like, I don't even, it's like the working out in airports while wearing a business suit, which they've actually said out loud. And I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, what is going on here? And Americans just don't care. They're like, or Trump putting his name on everything or slapping gold everywhere. I almost want to coach him, like, to sabotage him. Go, you know what we need, because I'm blonde. I'm a little old for him, but I'm blonde. And if I took my glasses off and got a spray tan, I was like, hi, Your Excellency. You know what we need? Put more gold everywhere. Put your name on everything. No, do it. Pardon some more billionaires who rip people off. And I think, get another Saudi. Yeah, praise the Saudi. What is going on?
You slipped something in there that you're a little too old for him. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I'm Gen X, so I would be ancient. I'm hovering around Melania's age, so and normally he trades them in, but he can't do that this time.
Well, President of the United States can't just trade him in. When he gets out, he can't.
Yeah.
So I just want to say what this tells me is, being somebody who was born in the 50s, I think we need to go back to 1960 because nobody ever talked about Calibri and New Times Roman.
I know.
Nobody talked about this.
I just don't understand, like, what's wrong with them? Like, why? Like,
I'm just so glad that they didn't choose like Comic Sans.
Yeah, Comic Sans would be good. It's sort of, everybody was making jokes about the font, but it's like, is it that Trump was like, I don't like that font, and they're like, scatter, what?
It's so funny to me. Like, I don't think. It's so funny to me.
I think you got to blame it on Rubio first of all. He's the one that did this. Trump probably didn't know a thing about it.
Well, he doesn't even know what a font means. If you said, what's a font? He'd be like, he's like somebody, I comment on him a lot because I've watched everything he does, and people will say, oh, he's crazy like a fox. I'm like, no, he's dumb as bricks. He really is just dumb as bricks. He's just dumb. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's dumb. He's good at one thing, and that's selling. That's it. He's P.T. Barnum with no brain. He's just...
P.T. Barnum.
Yeah, well, I have a background as I used to be a performer, so that's why I say weird stuff sometimes, like P.T. Barnum, whirling dervish.
I like that.
I'll say whirling dervish, and people stare at me funny. I'm like, oh, that's a really weird reference that I just.
You know what this means, Marisa? You know what this means? She used to be a performer. We have another potential candidate for Congress.
No.
Maybe for the president.
I would not be doing that. Yeah. Would not be doing. I do not have.
Wait, what kind of performer were you? Like a trapeze or what?
No. I say performer because I did a lot of weird stuff. I started off as an actor, but then I ended up working more as an MC. throughout New York and like late night shows. Some were burlesque, some were variety. And I loved that. I did a lot of live theater, and I also worked in film and television, but that just very garbage stuff in film and television, like walking back and forth kind of jobs.
The dead body in the crime lab.
Yeah, like looking shocked and run away. That kind of like, like not a lot of great stuff, but it was work. But I did a lot of live performance, and I wrote a couple scripts that I produced and stuff. But I really, really loved just kind of live theater with like, it's not even theater. It was like performing in clubs with a microphone and no script was really fun for me.
I think she should run for Congress.
But I don't want to ever run for Congress. I would never want to be a politician.
You actually, if you got in there, you might do something. It'd be a change.
I just they would find so much crazy, weird stuff on my background. They'd be like, "What?" I'm like,
well,
"We're
Juliet,
good."
Let's talk about like how you pivoted, because this podcast of yours, this is not new. You have us beat by a few years here. Started in February of 2022.
Yes.
How did this come to be? Decoding Fox News.
It's a crazy story. When I was still performing in New York, and I had like all the goofy jobs you have when you're a performer, like survival jobs. I kind of stumbled on the founder of the Proud Boys. He had an online show called The Gavin McInnes Show. And that's when he put the Proud Boys together as a group. And I was horrified by this person. And I started collecting clips of him saying horrible things. And I eventually started giving them to the press. And then the press, that completely snowballed. And I have on a hard drive 407 episodes of the show. And this is literally as the Proud Boys were forming. And that is sort of how I got into it. And then I decided to go to grad school. There's a whole crazy story we'll skip right over. But I ended up going to grad school. And when I was in grad school, I made a capstone, which is like your thesis. My capstone was based off right-wing media because that was my background. Oh. So it was Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and OAN. And then I compared that to just kind of really mainstream NBC morning news show and PBS. And so I did this whole crazy elaborate project on it, like of how they cover the same news over the same time period. And Jeff Jarvis, who founded Entertainment Weekly, who didn't really know me, loved my capstone and was like, "Will you do this, but do it about Fox News? I'll get you a grant." And I'm like, "Yes, let's do this." Because I had been self-employed as a face painter and body painter for years. That was one of my survival jobs. Yeah, I'm very weird, I'm telling you. So I had this crazy job. And so I was used to working for myself. So when he said that, I was like, yeah, that'll be great. And I agreed to it. The grant lasted for 18 months and then I became crowdsourced. So I had enough followers I could survive. And now I have income from social media in addition to Substack and Patreon, but it's been a wild ride. And it's funny because when I was in grad school, they all said, "We can't believe you can sit through this stuff. It's such a great skill." And I would laugh and go, "It's not a skill, it's a tolerance." It's just, I got used to it because the Proud Boy stuff was so much worse than Fox. It was just like hideous hatred, bigotry, just racist, misogynist, just horrible hate. And Fox is charming in comparison to sitting through neo-Nazi stuff. So, and I would put the Proud Boys in that cat. I mean, they're adjacent. Just horrible hatred, and I got used to it. So, although there's times with Fox, I have to walk away from my computer where I'm like, that's it. Like Jesse Waters, I always joke. People say, "Well, what would you do if you were on the 5?" And I said, "Flip the table." Just that's it. I'm out.
So do you watch certain? I mean, Fox is on 24/7. Do you pick certain shows you watch all the time?
Yeah, Jeff Jarvis asked me to watch, and I totally know why he asked me to watch these shows. Every week I watch 1 hour of Fox and Friends, usually the first hour because it's the strongest, because they tend to repeat in the second and third hour, and then always the 5, and then I rotate the primetime shows. So I watch a different primetime show once a week. So it's like every 3 weeks I go back. Sometimes I watch extra, depending on the week. I'll pick up extra primetime. Or if something crazy happens, I'll watch all of primetime in a given day. So my Fox hours they're anywhere from 15 all the way up to like 30, even 35 hours a week, which is brutal. And then I always compare everything for my control. So I kind of get grounded of like, what is the real world? What's really happening? I watch PBS every single week. And I make a spreadsheet of everything, and it's super nerdy. And
so can I give you just a recommendation, since Maurice is anchoring on Scripps? Could you watch Scripps a little bit too? Could you?
Thanks, Senator.
Yeah,
no, I don't watch anything, unfortunately, because I wish I could watch. I watch.
She doesn't have time.
I don't have time to watch anything. I feel terrible.
I'm the same way.
Substack. I watch stuff on Substack that's quick, that's short. And I watch Midas Touch sometimes, and I listen to podcasts sometimes.
Let's cut right down to real personal stuff for me. Do you ever watch Grounded?
No, I haven't yet, but I've seen clips of it. On Substack. I have seen clips of it on Substack. That's about as best as I can do.
That's about as much as you can do.
Yeah, because I'm always massively overworked. But
she can tolerate hours of Fox, but only small clips.
The problem, well, it's just because I have to watch Fox. But the joke is that I can't watch. The problem is I also, and this is, but like if we were still in the Biden administration, I would have watched several of your episodes. But the sad thing is, because of Trump, I can't watch anything because that idiot is like, is there a microphone? What? Let's do a press conference for 2 hours.
I totally relate to this. Like people all the time will say, are you caught up on the morning show? Like shows that I love to watch. And it's like, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm consuming so much information that by the time the end of the day comes, I'm doom scrolling because that's the only thing my brain can do.
I used to be able to listen to more podcasts and watch other shows, but he is so insane with all this because I grab all of it. I grab everything he does. So like just this week, it was like roundtable, press conference, rally in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, oh, and it's just, because one of the things I've gotten from him is I do these crazy clips called Trump without Trump.
Trump without Trump. Well, hold on. Yeah. Let's play this because and in full transparency, I stole this because Jim Acosta, our friend, our mutual friend, played this exact same clip, but it made me laugh out loud so hard that I said, I'm going to steal the same clip and play it. And John Chester's never seen this, and I cannot wait to see his reaction. Okay, you ready?
I can't wait.
Without Trump, you won't have to listen to his voice or see his face. This quote is unedited and 100% accurate. This is from the McDonald's Impact Summit on November 17th, 2025. These are the words of the President of the United States of America. And you know, we got rid of the drip water. We call it the drip, where it drips out of the sink. States with tremendous water, so much water they have nothing but problems getting rid. They had restrictions on water. It comes down from heaven, right? They had restrictions on water. So you want to wash your hands, or like me, I want to wash my hair. I lather up and I turn that and there's no water. The water's drip, they call it. They put a restrictor on. I won't mention the third item in the bathroom because I always get criticized. I used to mention that, but I don't mention it anymore because, you know, I think you do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you shouldn't be owning a McDonald's franchise. You wouldn't do well even with the McDonald's franchise, but no. The water restrictions totally lifted. All restrictors are gone. And you know, it's interesting. Your dishwashers were covered, right? You had no water. I was with some of the people that make them, Whirlpool and others, and they said, sir, they won't give us the water to use in our dishwashers or use in our washing machines. The washing machines have no water. I mean, it's like a glass of water, half a glass of water. We need water. And I said, how bad is it? He said, well, like the dishwasher. They put the dishes in and they just keep pressing the button. Bing, 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 bing. They end up using more water. So I gave them, as you know, unlimited water. Biden came back with a rigged election and he immediately restricted the water again. But I came back and immediately unrestricted again. Okay. That's verbatim. That's verbatim. Those are his words verbatim. 100% verbatim. I make sure it's 100% verbatim. I make sure it's accurate. I go through that transcript a bunch of times, listen to the
John
clips a bunch of
Tester,
times. Yeah.
let's hear your reaction.
See my hair?
Yes.
If it was longer, I would pull it out. It's I don't know what to say. You know, I'm I'll be honest with you. I've always had an incredible respect for water. Water's life, you know, and I mean, my mom. This is no joke. My mom could literally wash a sink full of dishes on a cup of water. That is a fact because we didn't have water on the farm.
Yeah, yeah.
And
no drip water though.
That's part of me that says that. The other part of me says, what the hell is he talking about?
I don't. Yeah, he thinks that when he became president, somehow every faucet across the country, restrictors were removed by magic, you know, and the water flowed. It's like, what are you talking? Like, that's one. What I do to get those clips is I have to sit through these 2 hours, sometimes hour and a half long pressers.
And you say, bingo, this is the one I'm using.
Yeah. And I just wait for him to say something completely bonkers. And I'm like, clip it. And the right length is about 1.5 minutes, 1:40. And that'll fit in, because most social media platforms about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So to fit the whole explanation. And then I had been doing those for a couple of years, and I kept tweaking them, kept changing how I did them. And then adding the music is what put them over the edge. And they went from like
Comedy
popular
Central
to like crazy popular. Yeah. And occasionally some people will go, you need to lose the music. And I'm like, you have no idea. Like,
so my best friend's mom shares these all the time. I see them on her page all the time. Like, and before you were even on my radar. So they are getting around.
That's so great.
Do you turn these out every day?
No, they're hard to make. They take about an hour to make, because the hardest part is the captions, because to make them that size, you have to basically hand work every single box on the screen, because that's not normally the caption size when you create captions on Premiere Pro. So it's a lot of tweaking of those. And to make sure it's covering his face. And I made them because I would find clips like that. I would post them on social media, and people would go, I can't hear his voice. I can't see him. Please don't. And I'm like, well, okay, I got a solution for that.
So I did not see the original McDonald's statement by the president.
That was weird.
Was he reading off a teleprompter? Tell me he wasn't.
He wasn't at that section. No,
prompter.
You really can only get gems like that when he goes off prompter, because he thought he was telling this great story about like how he changed, like he created this revolution in water pressure, you know, across the country. He talks about water pressure a lot, like alarmingly a lot.
And we wonder about his cognitive ability.
Yeah, I have no doubt that he's losing it. And I am such a crazy person. I told Jim Acosta this, that I have this side project. This is why I know I watch clips of stuff. I'm going through all of his old rallies from 2023 to 2024 in order, and have a spreadsheet that's super detailed about everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is something I wanted to do while he was doing it, but I couldn't keep up with him. But now that I have time, I'm like, you know, I don't really have time, but I have, you know, he's not running for office anymore, so I can do it. I'm trying to figure out exactly when he changed things. Like, he started with, there's 15 million migrants coming into the country during Biden. That slowly changed to 15 to 16 million. That slowly changed to 18 million.
That's
now
fascinating.
Yeah, I just have to know, because I want to make montages to like prove like he's just blatantly lying to you. And I know you can't ever convince MAGA that he's lying to them. You can't, no matter what you show them, they will not believe it. But there's that middle gap of people that aren't necessarily, like, when you look at the electorate, like 40% of the electorate identifies as, independent, or they don't pick a party. And that's the sweet spot. And those people can be moved. A MAGA can't be moved. They're only going to leave MAGA when they decide to leave MAGA. You can't use it's like a cult. You can't use anything to get them out. It has to come from within. But you can get the people in the middle who were like, the economy was lousy and this guy said he would fix it. So I don't really like him. But, there's a lot of people who voted for Trump who were in that middle funk,
there is.
you know?
There
Yeah.
absolutely is.
And you
So-
can't discount them. You have to, definitely have to give them respect and try to talk to that audience, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to know, psychologically, has this had any impact on you? I mean, it's not, no matter where you're getting information.
I just want to point this out to you. I have a minor in psychology, and I can tell you from my professional opinion, it has had an impact on her. It has.
Thank you.
I have a very, I have a very dark sense of humor, and my humor definitely helps to get me through it, because I find myself laughing at them a lot. Trump is harder, but I just, it's sort of like trying to find cracks, find a crack, a weakness. So that's my motivation. That's why I keep doing it. I also live with, they're running around right now, 2 cats. I'm a crazy cat. I'm a divorced crazy cat lady. So I'm a total cliche. I don't care.
We love it.
And I adore my cats, and they help me in that when I'm just like, I can't take it, I just go hang out with them, and they're cats, so they're just like, oh, we're napping, awesome, let's nap. Like,
yeah, but I mean, when I say that, it's not just that you're watching Fox News, it's that you're watching any kind of information like that. It's not, we're not designed to be consuming this kind of serious information as much as we are. And people say that to me all the time. How can you watch so much news? And you do, like, it is draining and exhausting, and it is hard on your mental health.
It's weird. It's like, I think the thing that helps me too is that I live in a crazy city like New York. So I just, if I want to just go out and see something that's not news, I can just, it's like, people have told me to, like, some of my friends who are married, it's all my married friends, have moved out to like upstate, and they're like, oh, you should come out, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, I'd lose my mind in a beautiful home in the middle of nowhere with gorgeous scenery. I'd be like, like,
you need like something to flashy to distract you.
Stimulus, because I'm like a single person, and the city is a better fit when you're single, because you're like, I can't, that's too isolating for me. But it would just be like, I'm gonna get Lyme disease. Like, I always think that when I see beautiful, lush, I'm like, that's gorgeous, and I'm gonna get Lyme. I mean, it's dark, but I think that in New York, it's like, it's high risk up here. It's like, I can't go out there. I'm terrible. I'm like a total urbanite. Like, I'm so urban that when I visited my sister in St. Louis County, I walked to the Whole Foods, because I don't drive. So I'm like, I'm going to walk to the Whole Foods. And I planned it, so I didn't have to, I stayed in residential areas. It took like 40 minutes, and they were like,
why would you do that? Yeah.
Are you okay? Funny. And I'm like, it's fine.
I do want to ask, like, how, I want to ask how it's changed over the years, because it used to be the Fox was, we had limited amounts of channels. Mm-hmm. And now they are not the farthest, right? Not
no,
long shot.
No.
How have you seen it change over the years? And what have you noticed that clicks for you to say, oh, this is why so many people continue tuning in? This is why they have such an impact on our electorate.
I think it's the far right and Fox feed each other. It's like one big ecosystem that loops, and that the far right will say something, and it might take a minute to get on Fox, but once it's on Fox, then it's legitimized, especially with some of these like wacky conspiracy theories. Although, like, here's an example when it doesn't migrate. Candace Owens attacks on Erica Kirk, because Erica Kirk has become kind of a saint on Fox. They feature her a lot. They're featuring her a lot this week. She was on The Five. She's promoting her deceased husband's book. They did not mention Candace Owens by name. They said this podcaster, and then they said she, and I'm like, I know exactly who you're talking about. And they were very dismissive of Candace Owens. So there is sometimes a line between, like, when Fox is like, no, it's too far for us, which I think is good, because Candace Owens is like an anti-Semite and a horrible person. So I'm like, well, at least they have some decency there. Although I've seen anti-Semitism on Fox, so it's just, but Candace goes like full blown. She's all the way out. But I think people like I call it like the roller coaster of doom. in that there are people who, because that's what it is. It's like you get in, you buckle in, and then they just scare the bejesus out of you for however long you're watching Fox, because it's all paranoia, panic, fear. Like, if you leave your home, you're going to be killed, and like people who get into this, that's what they get into. And it's thrilling for them. And I think it's why they appeal especially to like the oldest Americans who are retired and who maybe don't have other things going on in their lives. And it's like a nonstop soap opera almost. So it also always makes them the victim, like the, nice white suburban couple in the upper middle income area of, suburban, I don't know, like a part of Florida, that, they have a beautiful home and they have lots of money in the bank, but their life's gotten kind of boring because their kids are grown and that they don't see them as often. So they don't see their grandkids that often. So they just turn on Fox and they're just like, woo, it's like a thrill of everything's, it's weird. It doesn't really make sense, but people love that kind of constant, it's like watching true crime or watching horror films almost in a weird way, because that's what they're selling. It's all fear and paranoia, and you're the victim and we'll save you kind of at the same time. It's bizarre.
I don't know what to say. I've always wondered what the attraction is, and you may have hit on it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But I've got to be honest with you. We had Susan Rice on yesterday on our podcast, and some of the shit she said keeps me up at night. And I don't think it's shit, by the way. I think it's truthful, because I agree China's a big problem and all our military assets are sitting there off the coast of Venezuela. While China and Russia are doing whatever the hell they want in the world.
Yeah.
But the difference for me is when I on Fox, they just say stuff that if you just think about it, you just can't. You just can't believe it. It's just beyond the scope of imagination for me. And I live in one of those places where my nearest neighbor's, miles away. You were talking about going to a Whole Foods. If I go walk to a Whole Foods, it's like a 6-week trip for me.
No, I believe it.
We'd have to pick you up in a ditch somewhere.
It's like,
yeah, I'd be gassed about the third day in. So
Okay, so we know that Fox loves to put our friend Jim Acosta on
all the time. They're obsessed
with his show. It's really funny. Have they put you on? Are you
No.
on the radar?
No, they have talked about me without mentioning my name. And the reason why Jim Acosta is like a known entity, because he had this huge career. He's very well known. He was on television.
He got his White House pass revoked.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And there's one of my favorite, my sister was talking about it because she made me rewatch the clips of Jim Acosta just standing there, like as Trump's screaming at him, and Jim Acosta's like just blank, just like, okay, answer the question. And he's like, and Trump is like, you're a bad person, you're an evil, and Jim Acosta's not flinching. And but because Jim Acosta is like a known entity, the Fox will pick on him. But when they've picked on me a few times, they slipped. Greg Gutfeld came at me once on Twitter, and it totally backfired because I got like 20,000 followers that day from him picking on me because everybody noticed it. And then all these people who don't like Fox it's like a magnet. So they pretty much like ignore like me, Aaron Rupar. They ignore Asen, who clips them for Midas Touch. They ignore like the accounts that we're not household names. We've not been on television. We're not as well known. And they just ignore us because they know if they start saying our names on Fox, it will backfire. So
it amplifies you too. I mean, the thing is, Jim always says thanks because it's free publicity for him.
Yeah, and I love how when they don't say Substack, but I always like to, they'll use clips from YouTube because they try to act like he's just on YouTube. And so when I clip, the times I've clipped Fox clipping Jim Acosta, I'm always very good to include Substack because that's like how we actually make our income. I mean, most of us make some on YouTube, but this is like our base. So it's sort of funny how they do that. They act like he's just, I'm like, well, Megyn Kelly's on YouTube and you guys act like that's not a big, they're just, the one thing they said that was funny is Greg Gutfeld last week made a comment that made me laugh out loud because he goes, well, when you just take a transcript of Trump, he sounds kind of crazy, but because you're not really getting his humor. And I'm like, you're talking about me. I was like,
that's my bit.
Yeah, because those videos get millions of views.
I wrote Jim to say that his ears must be burning because we're talking about him, and he said he would like to be on, but he's on a call. He says hi though. It's pretty funny. We showed up on Fox News, our show, after when we had Jasmine Crockett on.
Oh, there you go.
And I was at a movie, and all of a sudden my phone blew up. It's on Fox News right now.
Well, it's like their latest attack is they're going after I've Had It, the I've Had It podcast. That's their latest target. And then of course they're obsessed with The View. They can't go a day without saying The View out loud. And I'm like, number one, the Five stole its format from The View. The View is one of the most successful morning television shows of all time. It's like, for what it is, it's incredibly successful. It's run for decades at this point. But it has its audience, whatever it is. And, the Five acts like it is the voice of the nation. Like if somebody said something on The View, like, how dare they? And I'm like, how, people who are at home during the day watch The View. Nobody else really watches it. Like, calm down. Like, they just freak out over it. Like, it's like what they said about Jim Acosta. When I first started interacting with Jim over these crazy clips, is he did a man on the street segment where he was just talking to people in DC, and he was really calm and it was very professional. And they were like, he's crying. And I'm like, no, he's not. Like, I saw the segment. He's not. They acted like Jim Acosta was like, they're wrecking the East Wing. And I'm like, he's not actually. Yeah, no, he's not doing that. And it was just, they blow things out of proportion, and they'll show things that are really mundane, and they'll go like, look at how outrageous that is. And I'm like, it's not outrageous,
So wrapping this up, I do want to ask you kind of what you've seen recently, because I feel like we have started to see something, with Marjorie Taylor Greene and the fracturing. And you wrote just 2 days ago that Fox News is freaking out over the messaging on the economy. Several hosts openly pleading with the president. So let's talk about what you're seeing there. Are you starting to see?
I'm seeing fractures. There? Yes, it's brilliant. It's amazing. It's been such a rough year. And just in this past couple of weeks, just yesterday, there was a clip where they read so the people at New York Post, owned by the same company that owns Fox, it's a Murdoch company. They quote the New York Post all the time, which is a garbage paper, but they post it all the time. They quote it all the time on Fox and Friends. And they were reading, Ansley and Hurt was reading the page written by the entire editorial team at a New York Post, where they were basically begging Trump to change his messaging on affordability, and directly.
Wait, was this before he talked about pencils and dolls?
Yeah, and this is after.
Oh, after. Okay.
But they were doing it before, and they're doing it after. They are desperately trying to get him to change course, and he won't. So I can't imagine he will, because he doesn't listen to anybody. Especially when he gets his, mindset on something. I always think of the casinos, because I got a little obsessed with researching what he did with those casinos. And all these people kept telling him, you're doing everything wrong. You cannot make your money back. This isn't going to work. You're cannibalizing yourself because you have 3 casinos right next to each other. They all have your name on it. You're competing with yourself. You're doing this wrong. And he just refused to listen. He just thought, if I make them fancy enough, they're going to be big and they're going to make money. And I think he just keeps thinking this affordability thing is a hoax. Prices are down. Everybody loves me. I'm getting energy prices down. I'm getting prices down. You don't need $36. This nonsense that he's convinced himself that he's right. My economy's A+++. And then meanwhile, people really are struggling buying groceries. I do nerdy research constantly. and I check one of the things I check every single month is grocery prices on Fred. They keep going up. I check residential electricity prices. They've gone up in like last month. I think it was the last month I think it was 46 states. They've gone up year over year. And the man just lives in this goofy reality. One thing he did in that speech is he said, in 4 states, gas is down to $1.99. Didn't name the states, just 4 states, which that's not true. You can look on AAA. It has not gone below like $2.40 a gallon. But then he said later in the same speech, in 3 states. And I'm like, he can't even keep his lies straight. And so I don't think that Fox is going to get through to him on this messaging thing. I think the only way he changes is if he decides it's not working anymore. So it's been a glorious, glorious couple weeks because I haven't seen this kind of panic in the faces of people on, like Jesse Waters was speaking directly to him. Brian Kilmeade was speaking directly to him. This Ansley Einhart thing from New York Post, just basically like they literally go like, Mr. President, you're amazing. But this, this messaging about the affordability crisis, maybe don't say it's a hoax. And I'm like, oh, and I'm sitting there like, it's amazing because it gives me so much hope. And what just happened in Miami as well, just anytime we get a win against this fascist regime. And I will openly call him a criminal. I don't care. Like, I don't tell my readers or listeners how to vote. I don't say this person, that person. I did not give my opinion on the Israel-Hamas war. I didn't give my opinion on the New York City mayoral race, even though I had very strong opinions on both of those things. I don't share that. But the only thing I don't put a muzzle on at all is I'm like, Trump is a criminal. He's a fascist. We are on the brink of a disaster.
But I'm here to tell you, if you take a look at the economy, it's working well for him. And that's what it's all about. It's always
he doesn't know.
He's working. It's working really well. And if this guy's ever went to a grocery store and bought groceries, I'll eat this hat. I don't think that's ever happened. And so he's out of touch. That's part of the problem. And when you're out of touch, you tend to go off of your own experience. And he's making a shit pile of money sitting in that Oval Office. So pretty crazy.
Well, we thank you for your time, Juliet. Thanks for joining us. Any parting words or anything that you want people to know about your work or kind of this moment we're in?
Well, you can find Decoding Fox News on pretty much every platform. Substack is my home.
I invited you to be a
I did it, but I did it on the wrong thing. I think
I'm
supposed to do it on the app.
We'll share it all on the
thing. It's all good. I did it, I think, on the wrong thing. I did it on the desktop and not the app, and it just went away. But I would also say I have hope right now because I have not, since I started this project in February 2022, I have not seen the folks on Fox this panicked ever. They are truly, truly in panic. And I'm seeing it across every show I watch. I've seen guests openly say, we got a problem with the economy. And they'll be very specific. Ingram had a guest, Byron York, openly said, like, card loan delinquencies are up. Credit card balances are up. He was very specific. They're not screwing around. They know they're in trouble. And so that's good for democracy. Democrat, independent, whatever, I don't judge. It's just good for people who want a government that's for the people, by the people. I have a lot of former Republicans who listen to my podcast and who are supporters of my media project. I have people who call themselves moderate Republicans who just hate Trump. I mean, because I don't judge. We just want democracy. We don't want a fascist. That's it.
Yep. What I've said is we want Trump to be successful. We live in this country too. But what we're seeing across the board, it's not just the economy. It's damn near everything you look at. It's because he's got a bunch of people around him. As Bolden said, expect fealty. That's what he expects, not loyalty.
Yeah.
And it's a big problem. And the problem with the news media right now, and I'll just say it across the board, is damn few of them ask the tough questions because they don't want the president to look at them saying, you're a horrible reporter. Every time you come in here, you ask stupid questions. You're a stupid
piggy.
Reporter. And the network you've worked for is a horrible network, and they're horrible, and they're going to go broke, and all this stuff. The truth is Congress hasn't been doing its job. The media, mainstream media, hasn't been doing its job. And that's all that needs to change if we're going to make this democracy come back to the democracy that we grew up with.
Yep. Completely agree.
Well, thank you so much, Juliet Jeske, Decoding Fox News. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. It's really good to visit with you. Hope we can do this again.
Thanks so much. You guys are great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So we went longer than I thought, like always, but that's okay. It's like super fascinating, all the data she collects.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. She's starting to see some cracks that can't happen quick enough, for sure.
Okay, but before we head out, I've already apologized and told everyone I love them, and I'm sorry for my inappropriate comments about age. I'll say it again, but I also want to put this up here. Is this us? Yes.
What are we putting out?
You have a new op-ed out in The Hill. Let's talk about this. Look at that.
Wow, can you believe that?
Democrats' path to victory, focus on economy and renewal. So basically, do you want to summarize this? You want me to?
Yeah, you can. You go ahead and summarize it. I'll summarize your summary. How's that?
All right. I think basically what you're saying is don't blow this moment, Democrats. You've been here before. There's a moment to be seized and focus on things that actually matter to people, like money, the economy, jobs, security, healthcare, etc.
100% correct. I mean, the truth is that for a long, long time, Democrats they've never been good with message. They've been horrible with it. They need to get good with message because, quite frankly, if they don't, the same thing is going to continue to happen. The point I'd like to bring up is you remember in January 23, that speaker debacle in the House, and everybody said, well, geez, surely the Democrats will take the House in 24 after all this bullshit. And the truth is it didn't happen because we didn't focus on kitchen table issues. And that's what opinion piece is about. It's about how Democrats need to stand for something more than we're better than those guys and we'll do a better job. That's not a good message. Even though it's true, it's not a good message. You need to have a message that talks about inflation, that talks about housing, that talks about healthcare, talks about our national defense, that talks about a good business climate in this country, and the list goes on. So there you go.
Have you heard from anybody about that?
Nah, but it's early.
It's early. All right. Before I ask you about your hat again, I want to plug next week. We will be live with our friend Michael McFaul, former U.S. ambassador to Russia. He has this new book out, Autocrats versus Democrats, China, Russia, America, and the New Global Disorder. Also a Montana guy, fascinating guy, so smart, kind. He used to be debate partners in high school with Senator Steve Daines. He just has a wealth of knowledge about everything.
And I think he's a former trumpet player too, so that's all good. Yeah. Believe it or not, I think that's correct. Yeah.
Will you bring your trumpet? Maybe you guys could do a duet on our live Substack next week.
Yeah, we'll play a little Sweet Georgia Brown. It'll be good.
Excellent. I bet nothing could go wrong playing live brass on an internet connection.
As long as we have crappy audio, it'll work out just fine.
I'm great at delivering that. I am great at delivering crappy audio. Okay, your hat.
The hat, please. Which is really hard to read, and I'll take it off, and it's still really hard to read because
my goodness,
when I read it. But this outfit does work with youth to make sure that they're not getting in trouble. And
what does it say? What is the outfit?
Bozeman. Now you're going to put the.
Read the words. Read the words.
I can't even read it, to be honest with you, because it's not written in what's that type that they changed it to?
Calibri or Times New Roman?
Not in Calibri. It's in New Times. If it was a New Times Roman, I could read it, but it's not. So just trust me. This is an outfit that's in Bozeman, Montana, that does work with kids. They do really good work.
Put the hat up to the camera. Put it all the way up. Oh, something.
See?
Outdoor.
Marco Rubio had a point. I mean, you just gotta, you gotta get a different typewriter. That's all there is to it.
No, he went back to the old font that they said was harder for people with issues.
Oh, well, shit. Well, screwed that up again. I missed the point of the change in the type,
Hey, Steve said, don't get your trumpet on our show because it's going to be bad. So
who said that? Who said that?
Steve Cybra.
Oh, Jesus. You know, if I get on my trumpet, maybe Cyber will drive to Bozeman and bring his trombone, and we'll reestablish the old Hawaiian cornflakes, you know?
Oh, that's right. The Hawaiian cornflakes.
Yeah.
That was John Tester's band, folks.
Yeah. No, it wasn't my band. It was a band of 4 or 5 misfit kids in 8th grade. So
weren't you in it?
Oh yeah.
But so it was your band.
It's not like Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. I mean, that's Herb Alpert's band, you know. This is
John Tester and the Hawaiian cornflakes.
Or 4 clowns in the Hawaiian cornflakes, or maybe 5. I can't remember. We want a talent show, but our drummer quit, and we had to go recruit one from the audience. So, and we still won. So it's good.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It's always
all right.
You go into the audience and say, "Hey, we need a drummer. Anybody know how to play drums?" And we find somebody. So it's good.
Wow. All right. Well, we want to thank Juliet Jeske for joining us. We want to thank all of you. We want to thank Pearl Jam for letting us use their music. And we'll talk to you next week unless something big happens, and we'll hop on.
Absolutely. And 2 tally hoes. Take care.
2 tally hoes. Bye, guys.